Now, the U.S. and China aren't just partnering at the national level. Individual states are creating their own strategic and economic ties. I spoke to Washington State Governor Jay Inslee and asked him why it's important for his state to strengthen its relationship with China.
I represent a state, and we just look for positive ways forward to grow our economy in our state. That's what I'm focused on. And what I have found is that by strategic relationships with China, we can do that. Look, we've got companies who are selling services and products into China. We now have a university, which is the first collaboration of two universities in American history, where we can have a mutual research agenda and a mutual education agenda. I just talked to a fellow who's a high-tech entrepreneur here, and he was telling me, look, these research institutions bring brains bring investment, and investment creates jobs. And that's not a very fancy algorithm, but it's the way the modern economy works. So what we're finding is by both growing and building the best intellectual talent, this is a clear winner for the state of Washington. I think it's a winner for China as well, obviously, and students on both sides. And by the way, this university here is going to be open for students from all over the world. And we want to bring the best talent from all over the world. It's two universities, one Chinese, one Washington. But we're going to look for the best talent from all over the world. And those people can grow businesses in Washington State. They can grow businesses in China. And so I look at it that we shouldn't slow down or retard the opportunities that we do have, and I don't think we do. It's not surprising that there are some tensions on a national level between our countries. That happens in any relationship, but I am determined to grow the bounds of technological growth in my state, and I see it as an opportunity.
And you've done a good job at it. A lot of people would echo those same sentiments. Would you give consideration or advice to the folks in the White House who are going to be having this dialogue, or in Congress, in terms of can they mirror your success with these more difficult topics?
Well, the White House hasn't asked for my advice, so I'm not sure I would offer it unsolicited. No, I would say that in any relationship, you can have tensions in certain areas, and you can have very productive, beneficial relationships in others. And I think in any relationship, you want to maximize the possible positive. And we're maximizing the positive by having joint educational opportunities here at GIX University. We're emphasizing the positive by bringing potential venture capital for China to grow businesses here, to create jobs in my state. We're emphasizing the possible by opening up markets for companies that I have today that provide some high-tech services. We're now selling some clean energy services and resources into China. We have a company here that provides IT services to Chinese aerospace companies, for instance. So you want to emphasize those positive things while you're working out your difficulties in other. And I don't think those are mutually exclusive. I think the United States can be protective of our security, and we have some obvious issues right now in that relationship, while at the same time we're building these ways forward on job creation. And I think we ought to do both.
There are thousands, tens of thousands of companies, not as big as Alibaba, but in China, who could be watching right now, and they say, okay, here's a governor that's pro-business, pro-jobs, and they're welcoming us to their community. Yet we get a mixed message, obviously, on the national level. But if you could speak to those companies who say, I could go to California, I could go to Oregon, I could go to Washington State, I can go to any state I want, I can go anywhere in the world I want, in fact.
Right.
Why should they come to Washington State, and what advice would you give them for those companies who, honestly, they don't know a lot about your state,
right,
and they might be very curious?
Right. Obviously, there's other good places to do business as well as Washington, but what I would say is unique about Washington is several things. One, I don't think you'll find another culture that is that welcoming to foreign technology, foreign intellectual talent, foreign investment in the state of Washington. We are a place that have always seen ourselves as an international community, and that international community is one of the reasons we've been so successful. We're sitting today at a Microsoft office. One of the reasons Microsoft has been so successful is we have brought computer scientists, smart computer scientists from India, from China, from Ireland, from England. We get the new world economy, which is to bring the best minds into one place and let them do great things. So this is part of our culture, number one. Number two, what I think is happening in my state is very magic right now, where you are having an ecosystem of intellectual talent that is developing in multiple industries which help each other out. So what we're finding now is that because of our great growth in computer science, we now have biotechnology, bioinformatics, aerospace, rocketry, global health, video gaming, and what we're finding, we're reaching critical mass where those industries are giving you a portfolio of intellectual talent that's really unsurpassed. Third, this is the best place to recruit that intellectual talent. Young people really want to come here. They love the mountains, they love the music, they love the food. This is a happening place. So if you're a young entrepreneur in China, you're looking for a good place to do business and build a new technology company, boy, I tell you, I'd come here and take a really good look at Washington, and they can give me a call.